You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 weirdest things games have been played on.
Like, impressively fast. I don't know if they were just trying to show off or what, because it makes it really hard to play.
For this list, we'll be looking at the strangest objects that people have found a way to play video games on. Would you ever try gaming on one of these devices? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Pac-Man on a MacBook Pro touch bar. The touch bar on Apple's MacBook Pro was a sleek addition to an already powerful laptop. Its main functionality would be creating shortcut keys for your favorite emojis, tools, or songs. However, one thing we didn't expect was being able to game on it. With the help of some wondrous third-party developers, the touch bar was able to play Pac-Man. Albeit a very limited version of it. It only has one ghost and it's not really a maze. To be honest, it's barely Pac-Man. It's more of a gimmick than something you'd want to sink your time into. Bravo to the developers who created it, but I'll stick with the actual computer thanks.
Oh.
Number 9. Super Mario on a TI-83 calculator.
I don't think it was maybe 1.2, maybe it was an earlier one, but this is just darned impressive to me.
You remember all the shenanigans you would get up to in math class with your calculator? Well, if you had this specific calculator, you might have been able to pay even less attention to your teacher. Texas Instruments wanted their calculators to remain adaptable to complex processes. So they made it so these tiny math machines could run code. And what also runs on code? Video games!
Like, impressively fast. I don't know if they were just trying to show off or what, because it makes it really hard to play.
While you may not be able to play Fortnite on this console, several retro games were given limited playability, such as Super Mario as shown by YouTuber LGR. You've got a Game Boy? Pfft, try a T83 calculator. That is the biggest flex in school.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome actually.
Number 8. Skyrim on a Nikon Camera. Skyrim has been released how many times now? It was released for Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Nintendo Switch, Nikon Coolpix camera. Wait, what? That's right, the original Skyrim has been run on an old digital camera. Now, this is cheating a little bit. As you can see in the video, the game is being played on the device's screen, but it's being streamed from a PC through a complicated setup. But it's still pretty phenomenal.
It actually works way better than I thought it would.
The YouTube channel Can It Skyrim has explored the many different ways you can play Skyrim on ridiculous appliances, including a Game Boy Advance SP, smartwatch, and even a car stereo. This creator is a rare find of fantastic content that is definitely worth checking out.
Yes, I realize this is a ridiculous thing to do.
Number 7. Quake on an oscilloscope. An oscilloscope is a type of electronic test instrument that creates visuals based on the various properties of a certain voltage. It's commonly used for things like maintaining electronic equipment and laboratory work. You know, science stuff. So of course, someone somewhere would find a way to play video games on it. By creating an audio output to create the voltage required to render graphics, the YouTubers Pekava and Arpok played from a computer using an oscilloscope as the display to play Quake. It certainly doesn't look like any game we've ever played, but has some cool retro sci-fi vibes. Number 6. Death Stranding on a treadmill.
He's okay. Oh, it's a lot harder playing with the treadmill.
Video games are all about fantasy fulfillment. We wish we had the power, stamina, and smarts to do the epic feats we see on screen. But adding a treadmill might have been a bit too immersive. Alan Pan is a YouTuber who brought together a bunch of friends to configure his treadmill into a controller for the PS4.
Because I should be able to also run in real life and make Norman run in the game.
Now, every mile or so you walk on the treadmill, you walk in the game. Of course, there are issues with it, but it does achieve the goal of making gaming more active. Death Stranding was widely lauded as a walking simulator, but the majority of gamers probably aren't the most active of people, so most would probably pass on this.
I'm also like not in the best shape.
Number 5. Cuphead on a Tesla.
Oh, I hate it. Come on.
Teslas are a real status symbol nowadays, with their sleek designs and electric fueling. They have a lot of fantastic features like autopilot, supercharging, and of course, the ever-attractive touchscreen. On it, you can stream all your favorite movies and TV shows. And while that might not be anything new to cars, adding video games definitely is.
Press the button while airborne to nullify or interact with the pink objects. This also builds your super meter.
In the Tesla, you can play all manner of titles via the Tesla Arcade. One of the most notable is 2017's Cuphead, as played by YouTuber Mother Frunker. It is by far one of the most expensive things you could game on, which makes it a little ridiculous. But the only reason you might think it's stupid is that you don't have one.
Oh, these are locked weapons. Okay, so it's not like a one-time use. That's cool.
Number 4. Tetris on the side of a building. Showing off your gaming skills is fine, but this is a little ridiculous. Way back in 2007, students at Providence Brown University came together to make a light show like no one had seen before. Using a small Windows device linked to a Linux server, they were able to configure a playable version of Tetris to a massive array of lights they attached to the side of the Sciences Library. It was such a marvel that hackers across the US sought to replicate it in their cities, including at the MIT Green Building in Massachusetts. It could only be played at night and didn't become a permanent feature, but it's a sight to behold.
You did remarkably well.
Number 3. Retro games on a microwave.
I've got, plug it in here, switch it on. Oh yes!
Games are best played with snacks, but the worst part about that is having to stop gaming to get them. Well, YouTuber Colin Furs has the answer for you: the Play-O-Wave. During his invention show, he showcased a microwave with an active screen.
Right, come on! Come on, bicycle! Come on! You could obviously plug a PlayStation into this, because it's just 3 phono ports.
It's more complicated than you think, as he had to add multiple layers to the microwave to ensure it was still sealable and the screen wasn't affected by the main operation. By adding some audio and visual inputs, he was able to jack in a plug-and-play console. Now, while you're waiting for your popcorn to pop, you can play some retro games. Probably best not try this at home.
Oh, Dan, you ain't right, mate. You ain't right.
Number 2. Skyrim Very Special Edition on an Alexa.
With arms has increased to level 4. You loot the flame Atronach's remains, find a flawless iron sword, and cast aside your old weapon.
It became a bit of a meme how many times Skyrim has been released, but the thought that using your Amazon Alexa to play sounds like a joke. Well, that's exactly what it was, as confirmed in interviews. Your Alexa is generally marketed as your little assistant around the house. You know, like, Alexa, add WatchMojo t-shirt to my shopping list. But this app is real. Alexa will describe the events and you can tell her your reaction to them.
Settle down, get a
corner
dog.
door, a Nord City guard greets you. He desperately needs you to retrieve a box of rare ingredients from a dense forest.
No.
Will you help the Nord City guard?
Nope.
As Jacksepticeye shows us, it's like an Elder Scrolls-themed version of D&D. It's quite bewildering and strange, which is why Bethesda brought comedian Keegan-Michael Key from Key & Peele fame to advertise. But it seems fun enough to give it a try.
After heading out on the road, you come across a guard who says, I got to thinking, maybe I'm the Dragonborn and just don't know it yet. You promptly knock him over with your thune. Later, you arrive at a crossroads.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Doom on a pregnancy test. For anyone who is still a fan of the classic hell-slaying FPS game Doom, you might know there's a bit of a trend going around that Doom can be played on anything. And things get more ridiculous the further down the rabbit hole you go. It's been played on a printer. It's been played on a disused ATM. It's even been played on a piano. But would you have ever guessed that Doom could be played on a pregnancy test? California programmer Foon Turing did have to mess with the hardware, but he was able to get it working in the shell. It's not the best way to experience the game, but it's mad that you could.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.